All right, we are online.
First.
Thank you.
Forgive me.
I got
Don't
you.
mind.
No, I ran home for nothing.
I got it.
Are we?
Time to get started. 4:30.
That's all right. It's okay. It's fine.
Sorry.
Pledge the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right.
All right. Thank you.
Let's see.
Thank you.
Approval of the minutes from December 2nd, 2024.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approval of November 2024 Treasurer's Report.
I'll make that motion to approve the treasurer's report.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, public comment on agenda items. Back to that.
Oh, is that for like us to speak now?
Excuse me?
Is that for people to speak now?
No, if you had anything on the agenda, then you'll get public comment at the end.
Okay.
If you had any questions on the agenda, that's what that's for. All right. Motion to approve or deny resolution number 24-16, ECOG budget, Erie County Council of Government.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion to schedule the year-end business meeting.
Does it have a date and time on that?
We were,
So, December 23rd, 9 a.m.
Okay. Make a motion to approve the meeting scheduled for December 23rd at 9 a.m.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Land development?
I have nothing.
Okay, thank you. Donated uses, motion to approve or deny Fort LaBeouf Senior Class Council, June 4th, 2025, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Picnic Cannon.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Solicitor.
We received a right to know appeal for a request that Lisa said she had never received. So we need to get a filing into the Office of Open Records for that. Otherwise, pretty quiet. Knock on wood.
All right, thank you. Engineer Jonas.
So the township's in the process of amending our municipal separate storm sewer permits required pollution reduction plan for the impaired portions of the Walnut Creek watershed within our township. As required by the permit, the pollution reduction plan will be available for review and comment at the Summit Township Municipal Building, as well as the Summit Township website from Friday, January 3rd, 2025, to Monday, February 3rd, 2025. The amended plan proposes to incorporate stormwater management facilities that have been constructed or under construction since 2017 when the initial pollution reduction plan was approved, and to renovate and retrofit an existing detention basin at Mill Creek Marketplace behind Target to reduce the sediment discharge into the watershed. Public hearing will be held Monday, February 3rd, 2025, to review the amended plan as well as to accept public comment. Just wanted to get that out there because our next meeting will be before, the review period will start before our next meeting scheduled, so I just wanted to make sure it's out there. And it'll be advertised in the paper, put on Facebook as well as the website. Thank you.
Thank you. Mark Wilka.
The only thing I wanted to add is, you know, with the garbage cans, if the residents could put their garbage cans just inside of their driveways when we're snow plowing or out on the road, makes it difficult to not knock them over. So that's about all I had to say.
Thanks, Tony.
Everything's going fairly well. We had a couple more mechanical problems over the last week or so that we've been working with, but all in all, everything's going pretty good. So that's about it really for now. Thanks for coming.
Thanks. That's it for me. Hopefully, the big storm event got it out of its system and we won't have no more of that this year. Don't mind snow, but 4 and 5 foot's a little tough to deal with. And as long as everyone's here, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Enjoy the holidays. Yes. Yeah, you can.
I didn't want to.
Go ahead.
Well, finish talking.
Oh, that's it for me. Go ahead. And then we'll get the public input.
Just real quick, Larry Hudakian, 27-year veteran, passed suddenly last Saturday, well, a week ago Saturday, from a brain aneurysm, so he's not with us anymore. We just want to throw that out there. We wish best to his family, etc. He'll be missed. He's quite a guy. That's all I have to say.
Thanks, Tony.
No, sure.
Yeah, Larry's a heck of a worker. Let's see, public input.
I just had one question, and what is the end of year business meeting? What, never heard that, I guess, never paid attention yet. For Lisa?
So, yeah, this is the 4th year that we've had it. It's any business that comes before the board before the end of the year and to approve the final budget for next year.
Oh, okay. Maybe you probably obviously did say it, I just never paid attention. What the heck, is that something new now?
Christine was always an advocate that we didn't spend any money between this meeting and the end of the year, you know, so we were always on a freeze frame, you know, so.
Anything else? Kevin?
I have several complaints. The first one is the traffic lights on Peach Street, from Bob Evans all the way down to Wegmans. I remember for years that one supervisor, his name, it just slips me, began with an H. I remember seeing him all the time out there trying to get those synchronized, God bless him that he really wanted to help. But it's been, I don't know, 24 years now, and the lights on Peach Street there are the worst I've ever seen in my life. They're, you know, I should thank you for synchronizing them, because they're all synchronized to go from red to red to red to red. And you could sit there at that light there at Bob Evans and look ahead, and those lights are green, and as soon as yours turns green, then that one's red, and you sit there and you're looking at it, and then the next one turns red, and it's that way all the way down till you get to Wegmans. And it's almost like traveling on West 12th Street, how it used to be. It used to drive people crazy on 12th Street, how the lights were so uncoordinated, and they've tried for years, even built the Bayfront Highway to alleviate it. But we have the busiest section of road on Peach Street there, and on Interchange is the busiest in this entire county. But Peach Street itself is the busiest, and the lights are the worst in the entire county. I've never seen anything like it. And I would just like to see if there's any way. And we've been promised for decades that they're going to be synchronized. And they're not. They're not. They're synchronized to go red. Red, red, red. And the other thing I have about Peach Street or Route 19 is that I don't think that the auto dealerships should be allowed to park their vehicles on the road or in the middle of the road. And I've seen them park where the turning lane is, and you've got north and south going, and they're parked in that turning lane, these semis unloading cars to the dealerships. Now, the other day I went past the new Toyota dealership, and I saw they pull their trucks right in their lot and unload right there. But Nissan and Honda and them, they're in a public road unloading, and they shouldn't be. They should be told, you get your semis, pull them in your parking lot. Their driveways are big enough to get in, and they should have the room and unload there. It's unsafe to the public. And the other day, the Nissan guy was parked on the shoulder of the road, unloading. He wasn't in the middle, he was in the shoulder. And when you're coming up to that Nissan, it's a little slightly uphill until you get to the top, and then you could see what's on the other side. And there was that truck right there, where at that moment you had to swerve to avoid them. They shouldn't be unloading on public roads. They should be told. And then Nissan has that little lot that they purchased right on the other side of Town Hall Road. They're up there parked in the middle on that turning lane, unloading there too for that little private, used to be an old house that was there. It's unsafe. So that, and you know, I see this all the time, and I hoped it wasn't going to be the case on the new paving that we did on Peach Street. And it's not just a Summit thing. I see it all the time. I see it in Mill Creek. I see it in the city of Erie. Whenever a new road comes in and they take the old road up and they're going to lay stuff down, that's nice. But so often these people come to the manhole covers and they somehow don't think that the manhole covers should be the same height as the road. And I don't understand how that happens, because, you know, you should have inspectors on the job that says, hey, how come that's not level with the road? This is a brand new road we're putting in. You get that level, but nobody seems to do that. And you're driving, ba-boom, ba-boom, and it's a man-made pothole. And there's especially one on 97 and Robinson Road that's in that northwest corner. If you hit that manhole at 40 miles an hour, it's going to shake your teeth. And it just shouldn't be. It's just uncalled for. When a brand new road's put in, that should be made level. Now, some might say, well, you can't do it. You just can't do it. There's nothing we can do. Well, that's not right. There's metal rings that they make, and I know this because when I used to work for National Fuel and we worked on valve boxes, whenever the valve box was too low, we would get metal spacers and lift it up and put the spacers around, and they come 1/2 inch, 1 inch, and on up. And they have the same thing for manhole covers, but they're larger, but nobody seems to want to look into it or spend the money to say, hey, you know, let's elevate that a little bit. There are ways to do it, but nobody seems to pay attention to it. It just doesn't matter. And like I say, I see it all over, but I was hoping that this brand new one that we just did on Peach Street there would be different, but it's not. Some are, but the ones in front of Applebee's still have that thump, and it's just aggravating, it's unnecessary. And the other thing that I want to complain about is, some of you might think that this is foolish or what is he talking about, but one of the reasons that I moved up into that new subdivision was because they had city water. And Town Hall was a dividing line, and north of it was city water. Anything south, you didn't have public water. So I made sure I bought right where I wanted to. Paid premium price for the property, city water. And then all of a sudden something happened when they found out about that underground river over there in 97, where, my God, we found water. So they drilled down, they got water. Well, that's fine. That was fine if the township wanted to give the people south, they wanted to put those new subdivisions in. That's fine if they wanted that water then. You run the lines, run it off the well. But the people that had city water, we never got a chance, the citizens here never got a chance to vote whether we wanted to be switched over to Summit's private water company. Now that's like I go in there and I buy a Cadillac, and I love the Cadillac because it's plush and it's got all of these different accessories. And I bring it in for servicing, and when I come to pick the car up after getting inspected, it's not a Cadillac sitting there, it's a Buick. And they say to me, oh, it's just as good. It's got all the bells and whistles just like that Cadillac, but I paid for Cadillac. I never got a chance to vote. The citizens never got a chance. Do you want to be switched over? Now, as soon as that happened, my water tank got eaten out. Cost me $800 to fix to get a new tank. When we pulled the old water tank out, balls of calcium came floating out of it and hitting the floor. It was like those little balls that we used to put in the drawers to keep insects out, whatever it was. It was a bunch of them. That came from the water. And then they're doing this thing with the, here, you could just pass it down. That's my tub. That was me with a bad back, drawing a bath during the middle of the day because I had to soak because I want, my back hurt. And that's the water that was in my tub.
When was that, Kevin?
About a year ago. Now, believe it or not, that's the third time that's happened that I've had that in there. And I guess the reason it happens is because I was home at that time and was drawing, did you get to see it? Now, this is because of them flushing the lines. And they apparently, like, they figure if they open up them fire hydrants and they blast that water out, they say it's going to clear the lines of the stuff that's in the mud or whatever, the dirt that's in the line, which I don't know how it got in there to begin with, but it's there. Now, it's been my experience, because a lot of times we had to deal with water and stuff in lines, that stuff sits on the bottom of the pipe. Now, when you flush that hydrant and you got it wide open, it's going to move stuff, and this is the result of it. It makes the water cloudy, but it's not going to clean out the line. The stuff that's on that line, and maybe you would know as an engineer, that dirt or mud that's in there, that water is moving and it's getting stuff, but it's not going to get that mud out of that line, and that's their reason for doing it. The only way you could clean a line and clean it is by pigging it. You got to put a pig in and put the pressure behind it, and that's the only way you could scrape and clean a line. That mud lays on the bottom, and yes, some's going to move, but it's not going to get it out. And it just, I lived in Erie for 27 years, and everybody there paid those water bills and paid the higher increases because they did such an improvement at that Summerheim plant, and it's one of the best plants in the country, that Summerheim plant. But I don't have access to that clean water anymore because they involuntarily switched me over. And when the guys came over, they're telling me how much better this water is than the city of Erie water. And that's just not true. So that's my complaint about that. I don't know what can be done about it. Maybe if they want to move the water to clearer, to do some testing or something, that might be good. But the method that they're using is not working. And the other complaint I have about the water department is that I lived in Erie for 27 years. I never had any dark brown water like this. Never. Not even close. Never. They've also had fires in Erie, and I've never been notified that because of a fire, my water pressure is going to be low or the water is going to be cloudy. To run your water and clear it. Now, we had a single family house on fire here, next door, and we got a notice, try not to use your water because it might be cloudy. So, single family house. Then there's another fire over on Peach Street. It was a single family house. And we get a notice you might experience low water pressure or cloudy water. Now these are single family houses. that shouldn't be, to put that fire out, it shouldn't affect the township like it does. Especially over on Peach Street. I mean, you got that giant water tower over there by the gymnastic thing. How can the water pressure be low if they're fighting a single family house and they got a giant water tower there? What are they gonna do when it's a large fire? What if Furman's went up, something like that? Or one of those stores down there at them plazas? They're gonna say, what is our water pressure gonna drop to 0? Now, I believe that there's a water valve attachment there across from Wegmans up on the hill where Mill Creek and Summit, the water is connected there. Now, I don't understand, was that valve shut during that fire? Or was that valve open? If it was, how could we be low on pressure? Because it just couldn't happen. It's a single family house. What happens when it's bigger? So there's a problem there. There's a problem and nobody's addressing it. And I don't know. It's just like talking in the wind, really, you know, but
Kevin, that might be a better complaint for the water authority meetings too, because they are a separate entity from us.
I know.
And I'm not an engineer, I don't know.
You know, the only problem with that is, and I've gone into those meetings, those people know everything. They know more than you. You could have a signed affidavit from Jesus Christ on you, and they're still more intelligent than you are. They don't listen. They are an entity. Nobody could touch him. Nobody could tell him what to do. Nobody could ask him questions. You go into that meeting and you look like a fool.
When's the last time you went to one of these things? I've been a chairman for 6 years.
Oh, it was longer ago than that.
Yeah, there's a whole different crowd there, and it's different, Kevin.
But I shouldn't have to tell them there's a problem. If they have a problem with a single family home with water, I think that valve should be opened by Wegmans. I think that water should be coming up from Mill Creek, which they get, which is from Erie, or wherever we're connected to them. We should have the option of having city water or Summit water. We should have the option, but we don't. And if I went there and talked to them, they wouldn't care. They wouldn't even give me the time of the day. I could say whatever I want, it wouldn't matter. The minute I walked out the door, it's business as usual. But when I come here, I'm hoping that a supervisor will be able to go to them and say, hey, you know, I hear we got a problem here, and I kind of agree. We have a problem with water pressure, and we have a problem with the way we think we're cleaning our lines, and maybe opening up the fire hydrants all the way isn't the way to do it. Maybe if you want to circulate the water, you could open them up a quarter turn or halfway, but opening them up all the way is not getting the dirt out of the line. You try to tell them about pig, and I don't even know if they'll know what it is. And last but not least, you mentioned the garbage. A month. There's no way it should take a month. And when we had a problem, we worked 12-hour shifts until the problem was taken care of. If we had to work Saturday, we worked Saturday. If it wasn't taken care of, we had to work Sunday. Oh, joy, double time, and we worked Sunday. But we didn't go home and sit in our house while there was a problem with the service. And it seems to me that Waste Management is not working hard enough to solve their manpower problem. They didn't come around on Sunday to pick up the trash. They figured, oh, well, we'll get you next week. And they tell you, you try calling them, you can't get a hold of anybody. You're on there for 40 minutes.
3 weeks, almost a month now.
And then they told us, well, I waited for 40 minutes because I wasn't going to give up. I got somebody else. We are definitely going to be, we're supposed to get there Thursday on your regular day. Okay. And if you're not here Thursday, well, then they'll be here Friday for sure. Okay. Friday came? Nope. We're going to be there Saturday. Saturday. Okay. People got their things out since Friday. Saturday, they didn't come Saturday. Where are they at Sunday? They're sitting at home on Sunday. They're not trying to alleviate the problem. So I saw on the news tonight that Mill Creek people were complaining, and they went and complained to the township, and the township went and complained to Waste Management, and guess what? Waste Management is in Mill Creek picking the garbage up.
They have a contract. with Mill Creek. We don't, that's probably, and I have waste, and I'm gonna get rid of them right now. I'm gonna go to Struber.
I did already. I switched over to Stroop, this is my last month with them, and they've been there. They've been picking up if they could pick up the trash, why can't Waste Management?
Yeah, I ain't got a problem. They bit off too much, or they don't have enough help, I guess.
That's what overtime's for.
I guess.
So that's all I got.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Kevin.
Thanks, Kevin.
And as far as the manholes, Mark and Matt can bring that up at the MPO too, because those are state roads. It's not an excuse, but they should put extensions on where needed.
Yeah, typically when we pave our roads, we raise or lower the manholes accordingly. And if it's in between that inch and a half inch, usually we'll have the contractor put a long taper on it so you don't have that to thump as you're going across. So we try.
I will second what he says about the Nissan. They unload their new vehicles there, right in that turn lane, and that's not safe. I know you guys can't do anything, it's not your road, but you guys, I think, know somebody over at PennDOT go, hey, you need to call. But they do it down at Gary Miller at the mall too.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh my God, someone's gonna get killed here. Because the guy walks right out in front of the cars. He don't even care.
Yep.
I'm like, this dude is stupid. First off, it's jaywalking. The second off, you're not allowed to park your car in the middle of the road. The city of Erie, I know, will tell you. I've seen the Mill Creek cop drive right by him. I'm like, you can't do this. This is wrong. Make these car dealers, again, it's really hard for Gary Miller because it's probably been there since the 60s, to find somewhere. Hughes has a place where they pull off, get off of 19 because he knows someone's going to get killed, but they also probably planned when they made the store bigger and stuff, but somebody's going to get killed up there.
Yep. And that's, not to carry on, but that's where land development comes in too. That's why these contractors and developers get upset with rules. It's because you gotta follow the rules to make life easier for everyone. You don't just do whatever you want. Like you said, Jim, you and I ain't allowed to park in the middle of 19.
None of us are.
Some
If we did, they're going to
supervisors
come
should
take
be
our
able to
car.
go there and say, hey, this is a state road, but you're in Summit Township and you're creating a traffic hazard in Summit Township. The supervisor should have some power over that.
We should, but then again, I'm not arguing. We're not the law. It's a state road and there's state police. And, you put that on deaf ears sometimes. Doesn't mean we don't. I know these guys go to a monthly meeting. Is it a monthly?
Yeah,
MPO? And they always bring up these problems and issues. Most of them get resolved. Little things, like I'll just make one example. About 5 or 6 years ago, down in front of Pilot, I told them, next time you pave the road, how about putting a short turning lane on there for the 90 eastbound, because everyone goes through the gravel pit anyway. It's a big swamp with mud holes, and they did. It helps seem to relieve some of the traffic when they're pulling out and hitting 90 heading east, because now they have a lane to get out of the way and make a right, I don't know if you noticed that, but from the bridge north, there's a turning lane there now. Not all the big mud holes. Well, anything else?
You can't fix stupid, Jack, you know that.
I know it.
Not you guys.
And it's right in front of you,
Not you guys. Ron, I love that phrase from Ron White. You can't fix stupid.
But you can train stupid.
That's a good saying.
That's true.
Well, anyway, happy holidays. Glad you came. Next meeting is January 6, 2025 at 6 p.m. Motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
All in favor?